Okay, so where we last left off at with the Legend of Santa was, well, we made it about halfway through. We got to the third level, which was the ghost ship, and I bit the dust. It's entirely what happened. So, for this episode, it's going to be a little bit of redemption time. I go back through each and every level, so I'll just have some quick things to say about it. So, this whole section here, I'm just going to cut up. We're going to get to the ghost section, the ghost ship, and then I'll have a little bit more to say about it. But it's only because I had already said how much I enjoyed it throughout most of the game while playing through it, and I did want to finish it, but boy oh boy, it gets pretty close. So let's see what happens. Right now it's gonna kind of fast forward. So while this level was kind of fun, it did kind of start to become the bane of my existence in the first run. The second run I had a lot more success with it, and I was actually kind of upset with myself. I said, you know, those little jumps where you had to jump on the narrow ends, that's where I'd kind of screw it all up. And if I just ignored those, well, I don't know what to call them. They're called dry bones in Mario, but we just call them the scaly bellies in here. If I would have just ignored that, then I'd have been fine. But instead, I didn't. So now we get to the mini boss, and I totally mess up. So we're going to go ahead and redo that. So finally, when I get back to the mini boss, we go ahead and get our revenge. We get our win back. We get the dub. Because honestly, it was way too easy to fail. And I can't believe that I just happened to slingshot that jump just in that correct way that first time around. I was actually upset. So moving on to the next level, it is just a layaway level, which was always fun. It's just a gift level, so you get extra life, you get some coins or chocolate chip cookies rather, then you'll get your coat and a power-up. Now, I think the power-ups can be random, but here we got the coals, which is fine because those are one of my favorites. The next level was the coconut jungle, and honestly I do like the progression rate of the, I don't know whether to call it, the new maps from the update, because it doesn't just throw you these levels and then they're all kind of mishmash, whatever. You actually have a cohesive piece going on. So in this level, there are certain sections where you'll get to where it's all netting, and you know, it seems random at first, but it also builds for later levels where that's going to be an important factor to kind of motion in. So I do like how they added that in there. Volcano Lair, well, that's where I started getting pretty upset because stupid things just started piling up and happening. I was doing okay for most of this run, and I already had the idea that I was just gonna go ahead and, you know, do this style format where I beat the game and then afterwards we just kind of mull over each level and talk about where I started messing up. But then I just started like just losing all this skill that I had gained throughout it, and some cheap stuff started happening, but hey, that's the name of the game. It happens, so can't get too upset. But I did. I stopped playing for a bit. I set the controller down. I'm like, holy fucking god. And then there's a part where it actually gets worse. It just gets worse after this, but that's not yet. So it's okay. So from here on, we actually turn the tables and we do get the dub, but it does take some time. It's not easy. So how do we get it, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. After trekking through the whole level, which can seem quite difficult, and you're gonna take a hit no matter what you do, you are met with none other than the troll who was the one to ruin your vacation in the first place. And when I tell you that the boss UI is smart in this game, for like main bosses, it's smart. It'll jump with you, it'll jump against you, anything you do, anything you won't do, it'll just kind of torment you to where you start messing up in the standard gameplay. I knew that I had to wait for that platform, but I just messed up. But boy, let me tell you something. It sure feels good once the pieces start coming together, once you have everything lined up and everything is secure, you go in there comfortable, you have 2 shots on you, so you're okay. It feels great because you know what happens next. You get one more hit on that troll and it's game over. You're done. That's it. That's the whole game. That was 6 levels, right? Right? No, of course not. Out of the shadows, out of the earth, comes Troll Villa, the ultimate level that'll test your patience, your fortitude, your willpower, and your everything. Most of the level is just trial by fire. Learn the level layout and just kind of figure things out, figure out which of the statues will come to life, because you're ultimately going to want to avoid those. You will be going back to previous levels to farm more items, to farm lives, to farm power-ups, to farm basically everything. When I tell you I know the first level of vacation mode like the back of my hand, I don't speak on that lightly. I had even replayed the Troll Villa so much that for the first half of the level was just a breeze. You know, even the second half I could breeze through. It's not until what happens after is the reason why I started failing so much. And that we're going to jump into here in a bit, but I did want to talk about the game's challenge. It's refreshing to play a game like this where it is challenging and it welcomes you to try hard. It doesn't hold your hand, which for a game about Santa Claus you would think that, oh yeah, it's definitely going to be something that's way too easy or whatever. And maybe for the first couple of levels that is, but it's learning the environment, learning the layout and the patterns, your jumping pattern, everything matters. And I love that. As I said, the second half of this level, I started to get good at too. I started to know enemy placement versus stage placement. Started to study which ways would take better care of your character as a whole and try to figure out where each fireball would be placed, where I could jump onto, because you have to jump on these loose platforms. And not just that, you have all these little fire goons just jumping at you. So now, once you beat that stage and you get to the boss, holy shit, it's a mech. And when I tell you that this felt really unfair, I'm not lying. I wanted to give up. You know, at a point I was done. I think I sat at the main menu and I did something else. Started fucking drawing just because I didn't want to do it anymore. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna make some beats. I'm gonna draw for a bit. And finally I got back to it because I couldn't just do a second half of this video and not complete it. Part of me was like, hey bozo, what the hell are you doing? You gotta finish this. So I couldn't just sit idly by and let the troll win against Santa's Vacation. We had to take back what was ours. But it also seemed like no matter how good at the level I got, no matter how much I progressed, there was still the looming darkness ahead. There was still something ahead that had to be taken care of that I just was not looking forward to. And it's not because I don't think of a skill issue. I think it's just a bad hitbox. And plus, it just jumps right into you, and it's such a fat fucking machine that you can't avoid it. So you just kind of left with hanging out in the corner and just hoping that it doesn't jump at the same time you do. But let me tell you something. When you finally get it, and you get that good run, you get all 3 hits in, oh, it feels good. It feels great. There was no better feeling in this world than looking at it and go, yeah, fuck you. And with that, Mr. and Mrs. Claus's vacation was saved, with Mrs. Claus being nothing but surprised that he's all dressed up, curious as to why he's wearing his coat at a time during vacation. And let me tell you something, this game is something special. You would think that a game about Santa Claus is just, a quick game that's whatever, but it's something more. It's definitely a passion project, and with the iteration of new levels to be thrown into it for free, oh my god, how could you not? I think that everybody should play this. Everybody should play The Legend of Santa. It fills something inside of you that's nostalgic in a sense. I don't want to say that it's just like a Mario game, because it's not. Yes, it has the jumping, the platforming, but it also feels like something more. It's the challenge of it that brings you back to those nostalgia days, back when games wouldn't really hold your hand with everything. And I wanted to let the credits roll because the developer and the testers and the sound people all need thanked. So thank you all for making the game, and thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all. 1K gang, let's go.